Okay, we are back for round 5, and I'm joined by Lewis temporarily. He's not going to be here for the entire thing.
But give you 5 minutes of my
5
wit
minutes.
and personality, Ed.
What are you going to do with the rest of the other 4.5 minutes?
The other 4.5 minutes.
We are here because we've got the top table of the final round. This is an exciting one because we've had a little bit of hand-picked by you. You've been picking some nice-looking armies and some good matchups, and I think you've done really well, actually.
It's been good fun.
Yeah, nobody clip that. Nobody, have proof that I've been nice to Lewis in real life. But there have been some good matchups, and this one is there are 2 teams currently vying for first place, which is Close Horse and Cruel Runnings. 2 great teams. Close Horse, obviously Ginger Steve's team. As you may have seen, Steve is 4-0 with the Warriors of Chaos. One of them is a bye, but he's won all of the games he's played. We've got the Vampire Counts that Nick is playing on stream now. He was with us on stream last game. Then we've got Jordan with his Empire, double Steam Tank, and Cathay with Callum with Cathay with double Balloon there as well. So a good line-up of lists. On the other side, we've got Matthew's Cathay, which we saw on stream last game, did come to victory. Dark Elves from Rick Thompson. Will has Orcs and Goblins, and then John Dale, who's on stream with us here, has Mortuary Cult. So it should be an interesting one. Undead versus Undead. Do you enjoy playing those?
It's such a great matchup because everyone here just wants both players to lose. Because no one likes Undead at the moment, do they? So it's whoever wins, whoever loses, everyone's going to get a win, which is exactly what we want to see.
It's like Amy said last game. I hate both of these armies. I just want them to lose. And that was Bretonians versus Cathay, and we've got a very similar sort of setup here, I think. So
I've got players stealing beers whilst I'm sat here.
You've got players telling you that they're taking a beer, so please do charge them for it later on, just to accurately represent the lovely Gwillem there. Who have we got here? Chaos Black is back. Really hope for some high elves appearance today. Sorry about that. No elves on the stream today. Hendy does point out Wet Undead versus Dry Undead. Chaos Black says Moist Undead for the win. What do you reckon? If you got
going to be a sloppy mix now of.
Don't love that. Do not love that.
This is why I'm only on for 5 minutes because I'll get the stream taken down by YouTube.
You're not as bad as Nick. He was within 5 minutes talking about Lady Elisa's feet. Apparently, that's a thing that the internet talked about a lot, but I missed that. Yeah.
Does she have nice feet then?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I'm not a feet fan.
No, neither am I.
The internet rumours.
Yeah.
To the contrary.
There are rumours. Lewis is quiet even here. Let me just try turning you up there. Try talking now.
How am I now? Am I full power?
You're louder in my ears, so it should be.
Okay, that's
louder.
good.
Yeah. Fantastic. These handsome boys together. Thank you, Chaos Black. That's very kind of you. You might think that we're paying him to say that, and we're definitely not. I winked.
Your
past
check is
the
in the post.
Check PayPal. Check PayPal.
I haven't been called handsome in years. I think my nan's the only one that calls me handsome. It's a bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, at least you got a nan to call you handsome. I've run out.
Oh, Ed.
Speaking of the Undead, though, we've got a great matchup here, which is it's a lot of dragons. So it is a double Necrosphinx and a Winged War Sphinx. Apparently the first one at a tournament ever.
Indeed.
I could believe it.
This is a world first at Saffron Slam, everybody.
I checked with Nick and... not with Nick. I checked with John, sorry. And I said, how's it been going for you? I said, it's terrible. I paid £40 for the privilege of finding out. So not having a great time with that. But it is still just another ranged, fast threat to bludgeon your opponents with. Also a Tomb King on Dragon there. I will go through lists properly when Lewis is not here. But I don't want to take up the time. We may as well
discussing
talk about
lists.
Yeah, exactly. How are you feeling? You got any hot takes off the rip before you have to go?
I think so. Both John and Nick, good players. So I think this could be a tight one. I hope it's a tight one. We never want to see a blowout, do you? I think John has maybe potentially over-invested in monsters, but we'll see how that plays out. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be amazing.
Nice.
And never count the vampires out, obviously.
Of course.
And it's quite a tasty list from Nick there. So we'll see how he gets on. I think Nick edges it on the list front, I think.
Quillem says in chat, I'm not stealing. I love how even the players here are watching the stream. We should tell you what we should do. Just get a TV that you can
just project it on the wall.
Yeah, a cheap projector or a TV, put it on the wall, and then people can have that on in the background if they want to while they're playing the games. Chaos Black's seems to be the only person who caught my segue there.
from dead grandparents to the undead. Is she back on the field?
I'm not sure. It's hard to tell from the top down. And then Hams fan.
That's what's ruling it out.
Hams fan bragging in chat that he's married. Yeah, well, good for you. I hope you have a fulfilling life. One of my favourite things is to say something in a mocking tone that's nice. It really throws people off.
I will have a fulfilling life. Thank you very much. Ed.
Yeah. And speaking of things that throw people off, Wailing Dirge. This is a matchup where it can work wonders. Although, that said, Tomb Kings do have pretty good leadership across the board.
They're slightly better on the leadership front than the other vampires, aren't they? Vampires on vampires is just a screen fest, whereas the Tomb Kings do have at least some 9s and 10s in there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But at least with the Tomb King versus Vampire Cat matchup, yes, it's hard to get the screams off, but you're not getting screamed back.
Yeah.
They're just trying to bludgeon you to death with dusty bones in combat, which is always horrifying, frankly.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, how long you got?
Couple of minutes.
Cool.
Can I just say how awesome this terrain is?
It's pretty nice.
Just saying. Talk about myself.
We have been bigging it up. Although what I will say, as nice as this one looks, playability is a little bit lower because of all of the plants that are in
the plants.
Yeah, the plants that are attached to the and it also makes telling the difference between the hills and the woods when the wood's not on a little bit more difficult.
Oh yes, when you take the trees off, it does look suspiciously like a hill from top down.
It does.
But everyone just remember the lovely jungle trees are in the middle of the board and the hills are on the outside.
Yes.
And that gives us a good shot. Made by Pumpernickel Games. Everyone should check him out on Etsy. I promised I'd give him a shout out. So
we've already had a couple of shout outs.
You've already done that. Excellent.
You've
great.
fulfilled your contractual obligations.
It's amazing. Go and do it. He does loads of my terrain. Got 4 new terrain sets in the style of the TSN Arena.
Yes.
So players can have that balanced terrain experience.
Sure.
And what I try and do is make it my top 4 boards. I know this is teams, so just every set of 4 boards has got a TSN set on it.
That's nice.
So everyone gets a chance to play on the balanced stuff if that's what they want. But yeah, when I'm doing singles event, it will be top 4 boards. So the top 8 players will always be playing on the balanced terrain. So hopefully terrain is less of a factor for those people at the top. Trying to win the thing.
All right, quick run through of the Towie ritual. Game 5, the Old Walden Intense Energy ritual. What is this? What have you done? Explain yourself.
I've played around with the rules here. So got 5 turns here, so nice and quick. This is the last game of the weekend, so we want everybody finishing on time, even at a 2,600 point size. And there's 4 objectives on the battlefield. And at the end of your turn, you may declare that one of your units that is controlling an objective marker is trying to complete a ritual. So shout out to our Chaos friends. At the beginning of your next turn, if your unit is still in control of that objective marker, i.e. it's not been pushed off, it's not been killed, that ritual is complete and the objective marker is removed. So you have an opportunity here potentially, if you've got a flank that you're struggling slightly but you've got a fast unit that can jump on it early in the game, you can go grab that objective, take it off, get rid of it, and then actually try and deny that to your opponent over the course. We've also got the scoring for Dead and Fled, King is Dead, and Trophies of War as normal. And I think I've put the baggage train on as well, yes. And anyone you may have seen on previous games where we've got the baggage trains, I do have them move around slightly as well. We do like that. If you can get your baggage train to the other end of the board, you get points as if you destroyed your opponents. So I like the idea of baggage trains moving, so I've put that on there. And I forgot to say as well, if you do complete that ritual, you do get 100 points, so effectively holding it for 3 and a bit turns. So there's a points advantage for getting rid of objectives as well.
Although if you do it too early.
If you do it too early, you could have gained more. So it's a bit of a, and you can only do 1 unit in your army each turn. So you can't have like 3 or 4 units all try at the same time. So if you want to get those 100 points, as I say, I think it's really good for objectives that you can get to quickly, but a bit risky to hold long term.
Need to remember on turn 4 to start destroying your home objective and get that extra.
Yes, get your home one on the last turn. So
we'll see whether these 2 players do pick that up, because it is a first time for both of them playing on this rule set, I believe.
Yes, so I think so.
We'll have to see.
Actually, no, John has been to a previous event, so he would have played the Towie ritual before.
Oh, in that case, he's got the leg up.
I've got changed the rules slightly this time, just to make it a a little bit more worthwhile. I think I'd only got like 50 points or something for holding it previously, so now it's definitely a little bit more worthwhile. So Jaju Man in the chat has accurately picked up the 40k mission I've taken this from, which is Scorched Earth. Hello, Scorched Earth fans out there, all 2 of you. There is a chance that you may have played this before if you have those round bases in your collection.
Disgusting.
I think it's a good mission. I like it. It just gives you something different to do, just holding objectives. Especially for those people that just can't stand on them for very long because their infantry blocks aren't big enough, i.e. 45 Graveguard or how many he's got.
Indeed. Well, that's probably about your time. Just when you head out, just double check that the baggage train on the corner of the board isn't too close. It looks like down here it might be within 3 inches of the
close.
edge.
Yeah, we'll have to go and shift that in a minute.
Yeah, lovely. All right, well,
great. I'll
good
leave
to
you
talk
to
to
it
you, buddy. And
have a cracking game.
See
Thank you everyone for watching.
If you want to pop back in at any time,
yeah, may well do.
Yeah, let me know.
Lovely
all right,
job.
bud. Spot on. Lovely stuff. Okay, well, let's get into it. Let's have a look at the deployment, and then we will have a look at the lists. Let's just go full screen here. In fact, let's just go back to the single view. We don't need to do anything too fancy here. Okay, so you can see here we've got quite a lot happening. We've got a lot of stuff over on the left. I think actually we might still be in deployment given that those are off the deployment board. So in fact, before we get to deployment, let's have a look at the lists. Steck says, turning the sound off for his good boy. Yeah, because he's going to put the microphone on the table, so I didn't want it to clatter, and then he took ages to bloody take the microphone off. I was trying to be considerate of everyone around us, but, sorry, everyone listening, I should say. But here we are. Speaking of, if you are here and you haven't already, please do give the stream a thumbs up. Helps get picked up by the algorithm. All of that good stuff. Bye, Lewis, lovely baby. It's not what I said at all. You could probably see the vague annoyance as he messed around with the microphone, taking too long to take it off. Perfect. But let's have a look here. So if we look at the list, we can see that the matchup, we've got Cathay versus Warriors of Chaos. This is Triple Dragon Warriors of Chaos versus Double Cannon and Balloon. I put the edge to Warriors of Chaos here, I think. Dark Elves versus Cathay. I believe Rick has had to play against Cathay already this weekend. No, he can't have done because there's only 2 Cathay events, 2 Cathay lists. I must be making that up. It must have been a different Cathay versus Dark Elf matchup. But I think this one's difficult for Dark Elf, so probably in the Cathay's favour. However, Orcs and Goblins versus Empire. I do not hate the Orcs and Goblins here. Yes, Empire can put a lot of shots in, but the Fanatics can do incredible work. And then it comes down to the final game, Mortuary Cult versus Vampire Counts. I would generally put a little bit of an edge towards the Vampire Counts. However, this is a Mortuary Cult list with a lot of melee aggression, so I think this might be edging slightly in John's favour. So let's have a look at the lists before we get into looking at the deployment zones themselves. So starting off with John lists, we've got, first of all, we've got the High Priest, who is the General. Level 4 Hierophant. Got a Ruby Ring of Ruin, Elementalism, Scroll of Urgency, which is basically Arcane Urgency, but in the scroll. So you take a leadership test. If it's passed, your opponent can try and dispel at the minimum value of the casting. But it's just a little bit more reliable if you're out of dispel range. Scroll of Withering, 21-inch range, -1 to strength, and also you can't take any ward saves, I believe it is. So very, very punishing. I think, does it turn off regens as well? You know what? I'll have to double check that one. Let's go to... Let's just double check here. Scroll... I hope he's updated it. Withering. You're seeing my lack of ability to talk and type at the same time. Scroll of Withering is no ward or regen saves. That's actually really nice in this matchup. Being able to turn off the regen saves for enemy undead is obviously huge. And putting that into the Graveguard on a key turn when you do hit them with both Necrosphinxes and the Dragon could make a huge difference there. Or just putting it onto the Vampire account, who is on the Zombie Dragon, which has a 4-up ward save and a 5-up regen. Turning that off as well means that your King is going to have a much better time into them. So this is really a big I win button that I'm very keen to see how John uses it. Then we've got a High Priest on Dragon, Lore Familiar, Warding Splint, Scroll of Urgency, so a second Arcane Urgency there, Serpent Staff, Illusion. So this is going to be a Spectral Doppelganger caster that also gets to move twice once per game there, or cast the move twice spell, I should say. Mortuary Priest, level 1 BSB with Amulet of the Serpent and Illusion, so can tech into a couple of different things, either one of the Tomb King spells. The Tomb King spells, they're obviously fantastic, reserve move or, rerolling once to hit, all of that is very good. Amulet of Serpent for poison attacks, or just the Illusion general spell that gives you -1 to be hit is quite nice as well. Intercore, 2 units of Skeleton Horse Archers. These things are fantastic. They are basically light, skirmish and cavalry. They can't march, but they have reserve move built in. So they're very independent in a way that Tomb Kings often are not independent. So you can get a lot of value out of those. 5 Ushabti with, it says Ritual Blade and Great Bows. I'm assuming that that's just a case of it didn't untick the Ritual Blade on the app builder, but I think he probably has the Great Bows with him. 2 units of Skeleton Warriors, 1 with the Banner of the Desert Wind for reserve move and Vanguard, and then 1 without anything. These are archers, these are warriors, sorry, I should say. So you've got the shields, light armor, Nikarin phalanx. So this is something that's going to, you're really going to struggle to shift it unless you put a lot of effort into it. This is a unit that can shoot a little bit. It's got poison, so it's going to do some value there. And then the Skeleton Skirmishers, 12 of them with warbows. Just nice to keep your characters safe in. 2 Tomb Scorpions as you have to run, because legally you have to run 1 per 1,000 points for Mortuary Cult. A Winged War Sphinx, which is misspelled here. A Winged War Sphinx, said Sean Connery. Equipped with wicked claws and a fiery roar. Wearing heavy armor. Finally, we've got another Necrosphinx and a Casket of Souls. So quite a lot coming in there from John. Looks like it's one of those lists where you look at it and you're like, why does this keep going? It feels like there's far too much. Let's have a look. What else we got? Master, nice format. Yes, indeed. Judgment does say it turns off Regen 2. Absolutely true. Heard the terrible news in Cambridge. Was thinking of you, the guys at the centre, praying for your safety in case some used to train. I haven't heard the news in Cambridge. I'll have to check that out. But sounds like someone's been unwell. No gaming for you this Sunday. I'm sorry to hear that. And is it possible to get a link to the website where the pairings are? I can link that here in chat. Give me just 2 seconds. So we are public on this one, so let's go to... Realised I didn't have the live stream actually open. Let's just go to the control room. There we go. That is the link there. Fantastic stuff. All right. Cool. So that is John's list, still doing a little bit of deployment there. And on to Nick's list. This is a slightly atypical vampire count list. We've got an actual vampire count on Abyssal Terror, so not on the Zombie Dragon, as I said earlier. My apologies. So it's on an Abyssal Terror with Lore Familiar Power Scroll, Crown of the Damned, Master of the Black Arts, Dark Acolyte, Illusion, level 2. So basically it's a level 3 wizard, because of Master of the Black Arts, or Dark Acolyte, I can never remember which way around that is. The other one gives you the ability to use Arise once per turn, so it can heal itself a wound a turn when it's flying around on its own. It's got a 4-up ward save from the Crown of the Damned, although you are at risk of failing a stupidity test, because it makes you stupid, and then also Lore Familiar Power Scroll. So we're looking at, realistically, Glittering Robes, and then also something along the lines of Spectral Doppelganger, and probably Column Crystal or Miasmic Mirage. Both of them are pretty solid there. Got a level 4 Master Necromancer on foot. Cloak of Mist and Shadows. Has Ethereal, flies around, can't join units. Spell Familiar, Septo of Dunero for the second res. 5 spells from the Spell Familiar Necromancy. Pretty standard stuff there. A level 1 wizard on a flying carpet with Dark Magic. Oh, sorry, level 2 wizard with Dark Magic. That is an interesting build. I'm curious what his goal there is. Maybe it's just to be able to keep up to Arise on the wizard, and then also have the potential to roll into Battle Lust, or if not, just go for one of the spells like Hellish Vigor or Van Hel's Dance Macabre. Finally, we've got the White Lord with a standard of Hellish Vigor and the Helmet Commandment Enchanted Shield. The important thing here, the Helmet Commandment, giving you that plus D3 to the weapon skill of the unit they've joined, and a couple of Banshees as well. So pretty standard stuff for a Vampire Count's character setup. No Mortis Engine, but instead we've got a fun Spectral Doppelganger caster there as well. Intercore, we've got a big brick of Graveguard with great weapons. I approve. Full command, again, I approve. Too many people are slacking on their musicians for Graveguard. And we have got the Drakenhof banner as well. So good setup there for Graveguard. 34 of them is a lot to chunk through. 2 units of zombies, 30 each. I think that was probably just a case of he had 60 points left and didn't have time to paint up. Even more zombies to go 3 units of 20. 2 units of Fellbats. These things are great, just little annoying chaff pieces that can go destroy baggage trains or similar. In this mission, destroying objectives with them, I guess. I think you can destroy objectives with them. Who has to be able to... Okay, so it's only core that we're able to destroy. Never mind. Then we've got a pair of Terrorgeists and 5 Blood Knights. So there's a lot of monster mash on this board. There are 6 big beasties, 6.5 if you include the Winged War Sphinx there. So should be a fun little, a fun clash of titans, I would think. Ed would never take a Winged Necro Sphinx. If you could put a character on one of them, I'd be very excited to do so. Doppelcaster, this is your future list. Maybe I go like double vampire counts. Maybe that's something I do look into, because it does seem like a funny thing to do. Dave says, yay, just starting. We are indeed. This is Game 5, Dave, so this is the top table of the event. The context is whoever wins this round is going to win the event. These are the 2 teams that are in contention to win. And looking at the pairings, I think this is going to be a very pivotal game. If it's a draw, I think that I favour Close Horse to win the round. So I think John needs to pull out a reasonably big win to cement his team's victory. That's what I'm expecting to see anyway. Okay, so let's have a look now at the actual layout we've got on the table. Up in the top left, you can see we've got the baggage train hidden away, a little sphinx-like creature there. We've also got a pair of Terrorgeists. So there's one Terrorgeist top left, and then there's another one sort of center middle for the vampire cans up at the top of the board. Next to the Terrorgeist in the center, we've got the Abyssal Terror, which is, I believe, he's used the Lamian model that a lot of people have used as Abyssal Terrors. Quite a nice little sculpt. We've got the Blood Knights in the center here, flanked by the Graveguard in the center, and then some zombies, basically the 2 large units on each flank, with some bats around them as well. So pretty simple stuff there. T-Commander says, love the doppel count build. With 4 reds, it seems less risky to run big monsters like Terrorgeists. Yeah, maybe that's what I have to try and do. Just fit as many mobile reses as possible to keep them alive. For the Tomb Kings, we have got, I see a Winged War Sphinx in the bottom right, kind of just off on its own, maybe hoping to fight some zombies. It can be bogged down with zombies for the rest of the game. If it stops them from getting to the objective and just slowly chips away at them, I think John's going to be pretty happy there. We've got the Ushabti in the back there, definitely with the bows, looking at the models. It appears that they are holding them from here. Yeah, they definitely are. We've got the Skeleton Warriors in the center, in the deeper but less wide brick, and then at the sort of center middle, down at the bottom, got a big brick of archers with poison shooting, the Mortuary Priest in there as well. So behind it, there's some Skeleton Horse archers and also the Casket. Tomb Kings do love to bunker up, so I'm interested to see how well John is able to remain bunkered while also trying to be aggressive and take some points away from Nick. We've also got, as you may have noticed, a massive dragon that John's just put a marker in front of them for My Will Be Done, and also a pair of Necrosphinxes as well. These Necrosphinxes are here to party. They can do some real damage. Remember, the Necrosphinxes do have the ability to kill dragons. They've got Monster Slayer on their single attack, so it's not a good chance, but there is a chance that you just absolutely punk a fool. Technical terminology. Also, of course, you can see here a couple of Tomb Scorpions. Those are, as you might have seen on the thumbnail, Tomb Scorpions very creatively coming out of the ground. I do like those models that John has got. And also in the sort of center left, you can see as well those skirmishing horse archers deployed, I believe, by... How do they get over there? They got Scout, I think? I'd have to double check. Horse archer. I can't remember off the top of my head if they come with Scout. Yes, they do come with Scout, so they must have deployed up there. So he's ended up with first turn despite having, giving up the +1 to go first. Although he does have a lot of drops there as well. Skeleton Horse Archers have Scout, not Vanguard. But you can see that the Tomb Scorpions have Vanguarded forwards because they do have that pre-game 7-inch move. Love me a Death Rattle army. Would love some Skeleton Archers and Catapults for AOS. Yeah, I've got a couple of boxes of Skeletons that can be Archers or regular Infantry. They're kind of nondescript, so I could use them as either set. You know, they could definitely go in any direction for that. And then I've got some other bits and pieces. So I am tempted to do an Undead army at some point. Interesting. But this is John's come around the board, so John is measuring out some ranges here. Yes, it is just the skirmishers, not the horse archers. Horse archers come with scout, and the skeleton skirmishers come with vanguard. Oh, what a good one to end it on. This should be pretty action-packed. Obviously, Undead unable to march unless they have a fly move. So we're going to see quite a lot of very fast Undead in this game, I think. Not even leaning too heavily on reserve move. Warriors pushing up on the right-hand flank, looking to control that objective there. Try and get the early lead. As you'll find, I've talked about on this channel a few times, when you're doing encirclement, you've got 4 objectives, and you kind of default to you hold your own, and then you hold one of the side ones, and your opponent will default to holding their own and the other side one. And then you'll start to fight over them. But, yeah, this is a pretty standard setup for what I'd expect to see turn 1. Measuring out some ranges, I'm assuming here it is looking for screams. I guess screams and charges. Terrorgeist able to flap forwards and do some real ass-kicking. And by ass-kicking, I mean ass-screaming. They're pretty terrible in combat. Unlike the Necrosphinx. Now, I've been kept in hot drinks very well over the course of the weekend, and it's time to find out whether Lewis is doing TOing actively or if he's watching the stream. So I'm going to put in a request here for a tea, please, Lewis, if you are watching. And I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to get anyone else's attention. I'm just going to say, tea, please, Lewis, and we'll see if he brings me one. No, he's not going to bring me one. I've just looked, and he's in the kitchen talking to someone. Curses. I really would fancy a tea. Really do fancy a tea, I should say. Okie dokie. A lot of thinking going on in this game. At this sort of level, both these players are pretty solid players. You start to see people doing a lot more pre-measuring, a lot more pre-thinking. So the turns will be a lot of sort of standing around and measuring, a little bit of moving, a little bit of dice rolling, but it's mostly the thinking that takes a lot of time. Time to find out if Lewis is doing T or TO. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. So, while we're looking here, let's start thinking about a vampire count list with Spectral Doppelganger, because that just seems like a fun time. What would we go for? They have better weapon skills, strength and toughness 5, 3 wounds, initiative 6, 4 attacks. Move 6 isn't bad. I wonder if there's scope to do a foot character. T5 with 3 wounds is not bad. See if he reads Discord when not watching your stream. He might do. Who can say? But I'm not going to send him a message. I'm just going to wait for him to poke us. Oh no, you've pinged him, I see. I see. Let me just see if he sent any cool pictures. Just the cool pictures that I had previously. That's absolutely fine. Ooh, we've got a Scroll of Urgency coming out from John already. Burning that one early. Obviously very strong. Going into the Dragon, that is a leadership test passed. Not in range to dispel, so it is just going to be a Fated dispel if he wants to go for it. Is Lewis going to go for a Fated, or is he going to hold it? Do you want the good one or the funny doppel list? I think it's probably got to be the funny doppel list, because if I put screams in the list, it'll feel like I'm not playing it for the doppelganger. I'll be playing it for the screams. All right. Fated doesn't go off. So he does get to make another move there, I believe. Fantastic. Going forwards. Being conservative with the movement there. It's interesting. I think he's making sure that he doesn't give some sort of bizarre angle. So he's setting up. He's just explaining what his intent is. That is a huge dragon. All right. So he's done his move, and then he's going to move into the shooting phase and try and cast Column Crystal here. 7, 8, 9. Not good enough. Needs to be a lot higher. Tizzy says, is 20 Outriders and Nuln enough shooting? Also, does Nuln have play into Vampire Counts? The worst matchup, in my opinion, for Nuln is Undead, unfortunately, because you just don't really, like, you're playing a lot of chip damage. You don't really play enough damage to one-round them. You can try and skew into it by taking a couple of Hellblaster volley guns and going really heavy on the shooting that way. But especially if they've got anything like the Glittering Robes caster, you're going to really struggle to crack that big brick of Graveguard. So I think I would say, unfortunately, Null very poor into Undead. As for if 20 Outriders is enough, you either want to go with 20 Outriders and a couple of Hellblasters, or 30 Outriders. Mechanite, hey, it's been a while, hope you're doing well. Are those skeletal skirmishes on the right flank? Yes, those are indeed skeleton skirmishes. They're just within range of scoring, although the warriors are as well, but a little bit of redundancy is good. But also in there, we have got one of the wizards, I believe. Skeleton skirmishes are a great unit because they are able to bring protection for the wizards. Null have play into Hexwraith spam VC with the Witch Hunter. Yeah, so there is that. There is that, but you're giving up a lot by going into Witch Hunters instead of other things. It's a really interesting build. Like, you can build in a lot of different ways, and it's really interesting to see how you go with them. You can do a lot of different things with the Null list, whether you want to try and play more into VC or have more play into other things if you're worried about the Green Knight, for example. Getting these reserve moves out. Interesting. Both of the Necrosphinxes have moved fully into the woods. I'm curious as to what the thinking is there, because right now I'm not seeing anything that can threaten to charge them. So it feels like, to me, John is just making his own charges harder, but there must be a reason for it. Judgment says, I've been enjoying normal chariots with Icon of Rakaf. It almost feels like cheating with all the pursue and overrun reforms. Yeah, it's very, very good. It is, I would say it's a fundamentally game-breaking ability to have, and they probably shouldn't have written it, just in terms of what it opens up to. Not to say that, you shouldn't pick it if you have it, but when you look at it, you're like, interesting that you've put this in the game. This feels like a lot more flexibility than any one unit should particularly have. Because I'm sat next to the table, just having a nose over. I really would like to have a couple of secondary shots. That's something that I'd like to set up for future streams. Just wasn't viable for this one. But setting up multiple cameras with multiple angles would be fantastic. Gonna enjoy it for as long as I see it. Yeah, absolutely. As long as your opponent is aware that you can do it and is aware of all the times you can do it, that, in my mind, stops it from being a gotcha and just makes it, a tactical tool. At which point, go off. It's when people play it without explaining what it does to their opponent and then gotcha them that I think it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths more than anything else. So. Tell you what, I should start building a vampire count list while I'm doing that. just going through and explaining a couple of different rules. I think they're talking about Helmet Commandment at the moment. They've got the TO over, or rather, the TO's in the area. The Vampire Count playing TO definitely well equipped to adjudicate on the issue that I can't fully hear. I do like how this game, because we don't really have much in the way of like good tracking apps fully set up yet. I'm sure at some point one will break through the market, but we've just evolved into being a fully pen and paper game. You know, people crack out the notebooks at the side of the table. To be fair, you know, competitive Magic, people often use notepads or notebooks, so chess as well, writing down the moves. Maybe we're just more evolved than 40k players because we're using physical media. There's the stupidity test coming through on a 10. Must be near the battle standard bearer, surely. Oh, I guess he must have been out of range of the BSB. I'm not sure. I don't want to interact with the game. I want to leave it as much as possible. It's like, you know, nature documentaries. You're not meant to go and interfere, even if things might be going wrong. You want to observe them in their natural habitat. You have one of those pads you can reset like an Etch Sketch? Yeah, I've seen those. Those are great. Maybe something I should invest into. Or maybe I should just do some printouts and bind them in like a tear-off notepad style and just have something ready to go for every possible need. Nick is having a very poor start to his turn. His Scepter of Dunero caster just take a wound. It doesn't really matter at all, but it is just a case of everything that could go wrong is going wrong to start off with. Yeah, oh, there, it just said. He's just said it's going wrong. Still see clipboards sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm not going to complain, but Lewis hasn't brought me another tea. And, you know, here in England, that's what we consider hostile work environments, not being brought a tea at the earliest convenience. I don't know. I just don't know how I'm going to make it through the rest of the game, you know. However am I going to cope? Who can say? Who can say? Still a little bit in the thinking phase here for Nick. As soon as they're in combat, they're going to be in combat for the entire game, so it probably does make sense to try and make sure that they're setting things up correctly to start off with. You should go on strike. Yeah, I could do, couldn't I? Although that would only harm me, because I'm streaming on my channel, and I guess I'm a contractor in this case. Not that he's paying me, but I guess that would be my role. How many sugars do you take? I take one. I should take 0, but I do have 1 sugar. I started drinking tea on a builder's yard when I used to work for a landlord doing renovations back when I was about 15, 16, something like that. And I was the new kid, obviously, so I was the one making the teas. So I was just making the tea the way they liked it. So when I started drinking tea with them, because obviously you want tea so you can have a tea break. If you're not drinking the tea, they were like, oh, go and sweep something up. So because I was drinking tea with them for my tea break, I just have the same as them, 3 sugars and really milky. And I've dialed down the amount of milk and I've dialed down the amount of sugar in my drink over the last 17 years. Just go full off the rails building a list on stream. Yeah, that's maybe what we should do. Maybe what we should do. Maybe it is what we should do. If you know, if it stays a little bit quiet while they're doing some thinking. casting some spells here. Speaking of, Lewis, tell you what, after I've just been bemoaning him, Lewis did send me the spells that we have. So, for the Vampire Count side, the Vampire Count, who does have Lore Familiar, managed to roll Shimmering Dragon picked Shimmering Dragon and Doppelganger, and also has Glittering Robes. The Master Necromancer has rolled into Spiritual Vortex, Curse of Years, Spectral Steed, and Spirit Leech, and then also has taken Van Hells, so a really good spread of spells there. We've got the -1 Strength and Toughness on the Curse of Years, Spiritual Vortex and Spirit Leech for the Leadership debuff, and then Spectral Steed for the Banshees. Really solid setup there. And then the Acolyte has rolled Battle Lust and is swapped into Hellish Vigor as well. So pretty much perfect spells here on the Vampire Count side. Over on the side of the Tomb Kings, we've got Glittering Robes, Spectral Doppelganger, and Column of Crystal on the Lore Familiar caster. So all the stuff you'd expect to see if you're picking. The High Priest General, Desert Wind, Plague of Rust, TMP, and Earthen Ramparts. Great spells to have there. Again, everyone just getting what they want. Finally, the Mortuary Priest has the reroll 1 signature spell that John can't remember the name of. Jaff's Curse Blades is the answer to that one. Yeah, so good spells on both sides. It's always nice to see both players having either good or bad spells, so that's not something that necessarily affects the course of the game where someone just gets royally screwed over. Judgment says, what's your favourite list of all time in the old world? Ooh. I think it might have to be the Skaven Gutter Star that I was playing for a while. It doesn't work now, but you would Steed of Shadows, and you'd march 24 inches around the board, and you would also have throwing weapons so you could still shoot. You would have Demonology to give you plus strength and AP on those attacks, and you would pretty consistently kill big things. You'd struggle with, like, Bretonians was the hardest of hard counters. You just couldn't play into Bretonia because you couldn't get out of the charge arc, but the whole game plan was just you march somewhere out of charge arc, you'd layer defensive buffs on them like magic resist and mind resist to hit, and then you just go wild. And it was a lot of fun to play. You can only really play it on the tabletop. It's not one that was playable online without taking absolutely forever. So yeah, I might have to say that might have been my favorite list of all time in the old world. Other than that, Double Dragon and Cold One Knights for Dark Elves. I think I was... I don't think I am, but... I don't think I'm now, sorry. But for quite a while, I was the only player to have won a 2-day event, a GT, with Dark Elves. And now if I look at people playing Dark Elves, that, they're basically just playing the list that I was having success with. So maybe that would be my second choice. I've not a clue. No, what happened?
So we're just working out whether he's miscast earlier in the turn.
Yes.
Rolled an 8.
Okay.
So in the book it says you can't cast any more.
Yes.
I think that might have been errata to just the wizard.
Let me check for you. I think that one's just the wizard, but I will just double check.
I tried to dispel it, rolled a double 1. Then also rolled an 8, so that it is dispelled, but I can't dispel any more.
So 8 is specifically that wizard. Which wizard was it that... The Master Necromancer. And which of your wizards... and did you roll an 11, you said?
I rolled an 8.
An 8. So, okay, so all of the other wizards can cast spells and dispel, but those two... Brilliant. I'm going to have to recount that for the stream. Okay, so I've just had an outside word. So the reason there's been a little bit of a pause in play, so they were having to work out. So... The Master Necromancer rolled a double 1 on it, a very key spell cast, which means that it miscasts. It rolls an 8, so it can't cast any more spells, but it does get that spell off. Okay, great. John tries to dispel the spell that is rolled. He miscasts, rolls an 8. So both casters... the spell went off, but the Master Necromancer can't cast any more spells this turn. And then, the level 3 on the back of the zombie dragon... miscasts, rolls an 8, dispels the spell, and can't dispel any more spells this turn. So, still able to cast on, I guess, the level 1, because the vampire count failed its stupidity test, so it's staying still. The level 4 is not casting anything. So, there's like a level 2, but I don't think I'm really super bothered about the level 2. What a fun cascading set of miscasts there. Fun times indeed. Cascading, very good. Very good. Okay, so we're starting to get a little bit more, not aggressive, but we're starting to move up the board a little bit. Zombies moving up to face into the winged not necrosphinx, the winged war sphinx, which is obviously not the most impressive monster on the block, we'll say. But wheeling up to face that one there. The other zombies moving forwards, facing off against the dragon. Curious to see what the Blood Knights are going to do. I'm not sure I'd like to see the zombies moving forwards here. Having the Blood Knights able to get a flank charge on the dragon maybe would have helped. Being able to be challenged out and not give up too many wounds. It's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. It's going to be a lot of fights to the death here. Talk about competitive gaming all the time, but we rarely hear about your hobby endeavors. What's on your table? What cool conversions or paint jobs are coming up? I mostly paint for tournaments. I, unfortunately, am just too busy to want to spend time painting if it's not for something. Given that my full-time job is Warhammer, through the coaching and through the channel, my relaxing downtime is not Warhammer related. I try and do other things. Hello, mate. Yeah, I'd love one. Thank you, buddy. I'd like to get more done on the heraldry for channel members. That is something that I need to actively get started. I was going to go to a tournament next weekend, but I think I'm just going to not bother. I haven't got the ticket yet, but it would be an easy one for me to pick up. So I think I might just have next weekend off as opposed to going, and that just gives me a little bit more time to, instead of, panicking and rushing and trying to get an army battle ready, I can do a little bit of painting on some shields, relax, watch the League World Finals, stuff like that. Brett's yay, yeah. I really like my Bretonians. I was doing some work on my Bretonians recently, actually, actively basing them as opposed to just having brown bases. So the Terror guys looking to move up here. What I will say is I can see there looks to me like a big gap in terms of those skeleton horsemen are pretty vulnerable to leadership debuffs, or not necessarily debuffs, but being screamed to death. And yes, the res is next to them in terms of the level 3 wizard, but they're not in range of the general's leadership. So even without casting any spells, that Terror guys might be able to do some damage. It looks like it's probably just going to be out of range at the moment. Sex says, do I still have time to submit to heraldry? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just, it'll be an ongoing thing as and when I get time to paint more shields. The only one that's done so far is Willem's submitted his own shield with his hand-painted heraldry. It looks fantastic. I haven't put it up on the channel yet because I want to have some that I've actively painted myself before I can do anything. If you bring a big empty thermos with you next time, Lewis can make you a flask full of tea that'll stay warm. That's true, but it's much more gratifying to make him do it several times again. No, you've got it's a good point. What I could do with is a hot water bottle. This room is actually freezing. Oh boy, Phil, if you could bring back any legacy army, which two would they be? Yours are Druki and Skaven. I'm a huge elf enjoyer. I just like elves, so dark elves are definitely up there. Vampire counts are very cool. The problem is, because I've been playing so much Old World, my perception of what all the armies is has now just been fully baked in from, the actual Old World game. Oh, tell you what, here's a little side tangent. There was someone who left a comment on one of the videos, and it's hard to tell tone out of a video, and I don't really care if people get a bit arsey. It's not the end of the world, but also, if you don't like me, why are you here? And that, it's fine. Not everyone has to like me. I'm not sitting here and being like, well, if you dislike me, you're wrong, or you should. Anyway, by the by, he'd left a comment that I was reading this like, I think, like, are you ragging on me? You've left it deliberately vague, but making a comment about how you could interpret it that I didn't know what I was talking about because I was a fake fan that only started playing with Old World. And then I went back and I found a couple of his other comments, and that was definitely the theme of all of them, because you can just click on someone's name in YouTube Studio and it will bring up their comment history. But yeah, the side tangent here is people seem to be unaware that I did used to play fantasy. It's just I didn't play it particularly well, and I don't remember a lot of it, which is why I don't necessarily like, oh, and back in 6th edition it was like this, because I don't feel like I can talk with any position of authority about old Warhammer, because I don't have enough of a grasp on it to say things confidently and feel like I can back them up. Indeed. If you don't like me, why are you here? Meanwhile, in the VIP chat, yeah, that's true. Gatekeeping is lame in every hobby. Absolutely agreed. Chaos Black. Take that money idea further. Have your Discord members each send you 1 or 2 models and form them into a Renegade Chaos army. Yeah, that sounds like a hell of a lot of work for me. So that's amazing. Thanks, buddy. The main problem that I have in my day-to-day life is I have to put a lot of hours in at the moment. It's the same with any business. So like a normal business with a storefront and everything like that, you expect to lose money or at best to go even for the first year. I'm in a position where I'm making videos from my room, so me going even is meeting my ability to live, and I am going even, this year, which I'm super grateful for. But requires me putting a lot of hours in. So anything that's like, oh, that would be a fun project that would take like 80 hours, I just can't justify spending that much time, unfortunately. Remy, good to see you. I hear you had a successful event yesterday. I haven't responded to Vincent's message, but I did see that he won. So that's very, very cool. Vampire Counts versus Team Kings 10-10 wash. No, I think this is going to be a violent one. There's a lot of monsters in here. There's a lot of volatility in this list. I think it's going to be... once one side crumbles, I think it's going to be a crumble. That's for sure. Oh man, this tea is warming me up. I just need to not spill it on myself because I'm hugging it for heat. It is. I'm a fan of the cold, but it's a little bit too chilly in here, I would say. Hold on. Gwillem. Oh, he's gone. Let me message him. It looks like someone might have either finished their game or been done, so we'll see if he wants to come on. God, I really just can't type. It's partially because my fingers are so cold. This would have been a great game on Friday. Could have done the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. Yeah. I was vaguely thinking about doing some sort of Halloween decorations for the stream, or for... I was actually really looking forward to... Before I twigged the date, I was really looking forward to doing a spooky Fix My List, and then I was like, oh no, I'm going to be setting up a stream room, which is a shame, but... Alas, 'twas not to be. So let's just have a look here, see what Gwillem's up to. Doesn't look like they've put their teams onto the scorecard yet. No worries at all. No worries. I also used to landscape as a team, and I find it hilarious that you had tea breaks. Did you not have tea breaks? Coffee all the way for you. Are you American, Winter H? A tea break is like a fundamentally enshrined. You know how in America you've got the Constitution? We've got the same thing, but for tea. It's not written down, but just if you tried to stop a bunch of lads on a job site from having a tea every, you'd have one in the morning, one in the afternoon. So basically, you'd take 10 minutes off. And just regain the will to live. 8 balloons so scary for Halloween. Yeah, that would be terrifying. Ooh. These early turns in the Undead versus Undead matchup are very cagey. Although I will say, I am saying that, and John's gone very aggressively far forwards. So, looks like we've got Plague of Rust being cast here. So, trying to cast Plague of Rust into the Terrorgeist, which is fine, but it does only have a 6-up armor save, so I guess it's a case of better no save than a small save. Looks like he's going to try and put the poison shooting into it here. Trying to get Lewis's attention without shouting into the microphone. Tea breaks at work is like water cooler moments in American offices. Yeah, it's just... Is Willem playing? Willem, do you want to see if he wants to come on? He might not, but he's welcome to if he does want to. Yeah. But yeah, do that first. Or smoke breaks in America. We still have those. But that's more, especially if you're working hospitality. Right, I'm just going to mute the thing for a second while he puts his headset on. All right. Yes, perfect. So Lewis is here to give us an update. How are things going out in the real world, Lewis?
I'm well. Apparently you love me, Ed. Is that true?
No.
Are the rumours true?
It's a vague level
apparently
of
you've said it. You've said it live on the internet, Ed.
No, you can't. I've just told you of what they were accusing me of. You can't use that to fake.
Well, it must be real because you wouldn't lie on the internet, would you, Ed?
I'm not the one saying it. They're saying it, and it's the people in the VIP chat. They're liars.
They're known for their impartiality.
Yeah. Oh, that is a strong cast. I'm not actually sure. I've missed what the cast is, but yeah.
They're casting. So there's not a lot of dispelling going on from the vampire end at the moment.
So. Plague of Rust went off, but it went off into the Terrorgeist, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, it has a 6-up save
Which
anyway.
doesn't have any armor.
But there's some poison shooting going into it. So.
It's a great effort, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's masterful tactical play that's far beyond you and I, Ed.
Well, it will make... It'll increase the damage taken
a
little bit, so it's not like... If you've got nothing else to cast on, it does make sense.
Might as well give it a red hot go, yeah.
All right, give us the update.
Right, so I've just done the pairings for this set of matches for the team that are currently on stream.
Yeah.
So one of the pairings is Close Horses Empire versus Cruel Runnings Orcs.
Yep.
Empire gunnery is taking its toll.
Okay.
Jordan has killed a lot of orcs, but the Boar Boys are now in combat with the big block of state troops.
Oh, that.
And as we know, state troops die to a stiff breeze, and this breeze contains pig.
It's a very meaty and sharp.
It's a
meaty, sharp breeze.
So depending on how that goes, it might flip the other way, but actually it's looking very good for the Empire at the moment.
Okay.
Cruel Runnings Cafe versus Ginger Steve and his Chaos Warriors. The Cafe are making a bit of a mess of the Chaos Warriors, but Steve does have all 3 of the dragons still left over.
Okay, that's over half his points.
Exactly.
So.
The chaff is being cleared, and when I say chaff, I mean all the Dragon Ogres, all the Chaos Warriors, and all of the Horsemen.
Okay. That's only going to make him play better.
Well, exactly.
He keeps saying, it's very important that I have as few units as possible so I don't have to make too many decisions.
Exactly. But this
if Matt's killing all of the units apart from the dragons, those dragons are going to be unleashed. He's going to make very good decisions with them.
The problem Steve's got is that he spent all of the games so far this weekend just yeeting everything into the middle and then charging everything turn 2, which when you've got 3 dragons is quite a good strategy. In this round, he has tried to play tactical. The dragons are hiding behind buildings.
Oh, what a muppet.
Which means they're not charging anything. So Matt has been so far able just to pick off everything that he can see, and eventually Steve's got to bring the dragons out.
Weak behaviour from Steve there, very disappointing.
So we'll see. And then the last matchup in that pairing is Rick's Dark Elves versus Callum on the Cathay.
Yep.
It's not a good look if you're a Dark Elf fan in that particular matchup. We are an hour and a bit into the game, and there are basically no Dark Elves left other than dragons. So can Rick keep the dragons alive against all that cannon fire and all those balloons? I don't think so.
Callum kept saying that he shot his cannons 11 times in one game without doing a single wound.
Yeah.
I told him
that has not happened in this round.
I told him skill diff. I said, why do you keep shooting at things with ward save if they keep passing the ward saves? But yeah, so maybe that'll happen again if the dragons just live. And then it'll be a very small win because dragons are going to be a big chunk of the points then.
Would you like a glowing review of these streams, Ed?
It's the only sort of review
I've
that's
been
allowed.
on Facebook, and
Yeah.
Facebook's a great location for glowing reviews. Apparently, you exceed expectations, which I think for Facebook that basically means you have
Someone
control
just
of
like
the world.
unprompted saying that you exceed expectations is genuinely one of the nicest things that's ever been said about me.
On Facebook.
Well, just in general, like it's such like an unnecessary. It's like, oh, I actually really enjoyed it. Oh, sweet, amazing, 10 out of 10. Glad that people are enjoying it.
They failed to specify what their expectations
I don't
were in
care.
advance, though. So
Don't make this negative. Don't make
I
this
just
negative.
want to add that disclaimer in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes, right. I'll leave you to it.
Yeah,
Crack
spot on.
Enjoy.
Yeah, and do see if Gwilym wants to pop in.
Will do.
Yeah, perfect. All right,
Bye,
buddy.
everybody. Love you.
All right. Good. Tell you what, let's have a quick run through of the other pairings. Let's see if they have been put in by any of the attendees, because they don't auto-populate for teams, unfortunately. That's all right. It's tactical play. So the Norwich Last Standers, looking good so far for the Renegades of Funk, because their fourth player, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it. So a solid 20-0 win in the Dark Elves versus Dark Elf matchup. We have got then Beastmen versus Skaven. That's actually a little bit difficult for the Skaven, I think. Warriors of Chaos versus Demons of Chaos, and Errantry Crusade versus Lizardmen. Some fun matchups there. So maybe we'll, if Gwilym does come on, we'll see. Might be able to give us a little bit of an insight on how his team's pairings are going. Some more tactical play here. John did lean over just a few moments ago and say it's a boring game, there's no charges, and I said no, absolutely not. I love the tactical gameplay. I'm going to keep talking about League of Legends because I'm now outed. I've outed myself as a proper nerd that likes League. But back in the day, I used to watch the LCK back when it was OGN. Just showing my age there. And the Korean games, you'd get to like 20 minutes and there'd be 3 kills, and I'd be like, this is the best game of League of Legends I've ever seen. What tactical mastery. It's a little bit more active now than it used to be back in 2013. But I'm a big fan of a high-level tactical game that's thought out, and you get to appreciate the plays. Hey, Anthony. This might be the first time that I'm streaming at a good time for you to be awake as opposed to in the middle of the night. Hope you're doing well. He's forgotten to put sugar in my tea. Fortunately, I went to the corner shop and I got myself a coffee earlier and picked up a couple of sugars just in case I needed them. Then I didn't end up drinking much of the coffee, actually. I got too busy. So, sugar in my pocket. Name of my indie band. Sugar in my pocket. It's looking like we might not be getting an extra person on stream here. That's absolutely fine. Not everyone wants to. 20 past 10, just here. Here, just finished the game in your local gaming store. Amazing. How did it go for you? Swiped some sugar packets from the local hotel. No, it was from an actual corner shop where I bought a coffee. But, that's not a bad recommendation. My local hotel is Lewis's spare room. Try Dota 2, more tactical and mechanically more difficult. Dota 2 is... Here's the problem. It's better in some ways and worse in other ways. It's the age-old Dota versus League comparison. It basically just comes down to which one did you play first. That's the one that you're going to continue playing. Drag Callum once he finishes his game. Yeah, absolutely could do that. I don't need Callum to be on stream to drag him. I'll drag him all day. Yeah, some real shuffling going on here. I will say, I feel like John had actually quite a strong position. I'm talking more softly because I don't want to give the players any ideas. I want them to come up with everything on their own. But I think he probably could have gotten quite aggressive this turn. If we're looking at where the vampire count is, this might have been a really good turn for him to full send to just try and get in. It could have been a solid one.
I lost. See no evil monkey emoji. Smiley face emoji. Smiley face emoji. Against a Slayer army SP comp.
You lost to Slayers. Wow. Does Squarebase comp make them playable, or was it just a little bit of bad luck in there as well? Slayer army's cool though. All right, some wounds going through there. Not 100% sure what they're actually scrapping over at the moment. Something in. I don't think they're in combat, unless it's the bats. No. I think it might be the poison shooting into. Yes, poison shooting into the Terrorgeist. Actually, surprisingly hefty. 4 wounds done with the poison shooting into the Terrorgeist there, I believe. Ruby Ring going in. Casting a 10. Why did you remove 1 model from the woods and replace it with a blank base? Whereabouts? On which side of the board are we talking? Orchestration, I missed that. Is this Tomb Kings versus Vampire Counts? Recursion everywhere. Yeah, absolutely. Even your sentence had recursion in it. Let's see. Any other games finished early, or are we still just... Oh! All right, we've had 1 score submitted for the Cruel Runnings versus Close Horse team so far. And that reminder, that's the game that we're looking at here. 20 over Cathay into Warriors of Chaos. So really we're looking for the Close Horse to get 20-0 into Dark Elves with their Cathay. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of a disaster. Left bottom woods. Let's have a look here. Oh, yeah, I see. So that's because the Necrosphinxes don't fit super well together if you want to put them directly next to each other. So he's just using a 60 by 100 mil base to make sure that he's representing where the model is without having it, scratch against itself or knock itself. So it's a fairly standard thing for people to do if they run like multiple dragons or anything like that. Oh, you know what? I thought the arrows were done before, but actually this might have been the arrows. No wounds done with the poison shooting there. Really trying to finish off this Terrorgeist by the looks of things. Pass 1, fail 1. Single wound remaining on that Terrorgeist. Terrifying. Truly is spooky season. But, as we all know, if you leave a model alive in an undead army, it will very quickly jump back up in wounds. I think I'd like to see the Terrorgeist more on the flank, make it just harder to get all of the poison shooting into it. Bloody scream. Bloody screams. Yeah, it would be pretty bad for Nick to lose the screams too early. Terrifying. Indeed. It's only armies that have the terror rule that are allowed to be played on Halloween. Which is why this is we've got Vampire Counts versus Tomb Kings. These are the only 2 armies that are allowed to be played. I guess anything with dragons is pretty good. Or just Cathay in general. Could it be a Dragon Wraith of the Lich King? Oh, okay. That's cool, Judgy Man. Got off the wings because the model doesn't fit anyway. Yeah. Is this the Tomb King dragon? The bone dragon you're talking about, Judgy Man? You got a single shot from 1 archer into the Terrorgeist. It hits. Needs a 6 to wound. Moment of truth. No, only a 4. That was the Skeleton Horse archers there, trying to finish off the Terrorgeist with 1 wound remaining. Ooh. Ogres could work on Halloween or Beastmen. Ogres, if they're wearing, like, I don't know, Freddy Krueger, not Freddy Krueger masks, Jason Voorhees masks. Oh. Oh, it's drafty. My knees are freezing. Might need to buy myself a coat sooner rather than later. Tomb King Dragon, freaking huge, but the king has a perfect pose for Arthur, so that's pretty cool. I like that. The old ogres with the man-eaters in different outfits. I love the old man-eaters. You know, where you've got a pirate next to a ninja, next to whatever. Great sculpts. The Green Knight, that is pretty spooky. Anything, yeah, I guess anything ethereal is allowed. I think I did say anything that causes terror. I think all ethereal units cause terror. So I feel like I've accidentally covered myself there. Oh. Okay. Okay, so the casket has gone for Light of Death here. Past the leadership test, so it's only going to be the worst attacks going into you. But remember, this Terrorgeist does only have a single wound remaining. So Light of Death, I'm going to have to remind myself what it does. It's a very low number of hits. Fails to kill there. That was, yes. So it was D3 Strength 3 hits at AP 1, given that he passed the leadership test there. If he'd failed, it would have been D6 plus 3, Strength 6 hits, multiple wounds 2, no armor or regen allowed. So that would have been absolutely brutal. But the Terrorgeist lives to fight another day. There's a double 1 in there. Okay, so... Looked like a dispel there. I think he managed to stop the Coma Crystal by the looks of things. That's, I believe, what happened there. All right, let's see what punchback we can get from Nick. Hopefully he's going to pass his leadership test on the stupidity, or if not, at least have the BSB in range so he can get the reroll on it. Fairly key to have there. Oh my. Oh, you know what? I've just realized we've been very rapidly approaching 1,000, sorry, not 1,000, 1,000,000 individual, or a million watches or 1,000,000 views, I guess is the thing that I'm trying to say here. Let's have a look, because I think we're probably getting pretty close to it. We might have even, given all the live streaming, although it does take a day or so for that to update, we might have crossed over 1,000,000 views. Let's have a look here, or at least see how close we are. Lifetime of the channel. Current view count is 994,000. Okay, getting close, getting close. In the next week, I think we're going to be hitting that mill. You're starting the ritual. Amazing. You're starting it. Congratulations. Many points in your future. A ritual being started over on the left-hand flank by the skeleton horse archers onto that objective, making a lot of sense because they really do want to make sure that they are taking it off the hands of the zombies, which just have more beef in front of them. Okay, stupidity test has been passed. That's very good. A lot of leadership tests here. Helmet Commandment, 9 fails. Is he going to re-roll? You deserve it. You both deserve each other. John's shaking his head. Screaming out that you starting the ritual should be in the rules pack. Yeah, I agree. I think you have to do a ritual. You have to actively sacrifice something. Two undead armies starting a ritual that cannot be good. Whoever wins, we lose. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. This is we're fighting over who gets to control the souls of the damned. I guess they're the damned. Sacrifice your opponent. Feels very, we're gonna start a ritual here. Here's one soul of the damned that I've been torturing earlier. If you haven't got one, if you haven't been able to make one yourself, store-bought is fine. Oh, God, I love tea. I don't even really drink tea on a day-to-day basis because I can't be bothered to make it at home. Maybe I should put a kettle in my room. Maybe that would be... Maybe that's the answer. Casting Spectral Steed here, looking to see some Banshees. Ooh, yeah, very nice. Spectral Steed is a huge tool in this matchup. Being able to reserve move out with the Banshees are going to be very, very important. Blue Peter Christmas special. How to make your own Soul of the Damned, as they've all sold out. Yeah, absolutely. That's a bit of classic TV. Is Blue Peter still going? And let's just have a quick look here. Blue Peter. Looks like they're still going. How long has this been going? Having been broadcast since October 1958. Currently broadcast, yeah, still going. Wow. It's pretty long running. Would you say Spectral Steed is the biggest tool in this matchup, or would it be the Undead players? I do really like Spectral Steed here, because you can actively get out and try and threaten those Necrosphinxes, and then still retreat into a safer position. I think it's online only now. Oh, okay. The world's changing. I mean, surely they're not struggling for broadcast spots. I don't watch TV, but I can't imagine that it's filled with high-quality content at all hours of the day. Nijola Lawson pronouncing it casquette to go along with Mike Reaver. How does he say that? Thank you very much, Judge Man. Appreciate the support. Make sure to post in the Knees Roll channel on Discord, and I'll apply your roll after the game as and when I get a chance to. Apparently people are threatening to flood me with tea on the Discord. No time for high-quality broadcasts on TV. Got to get those commercials in. Absolutely. Absolutely. The temptation. So I don't use this button, but there is a button that we have in YouTube Studio that says insert ads. And sometimes it'll flash up at you and be like, this is a good time to insert ads. And it's like, well, I've got it on like balanced brackets medium. I'll just let you insert them as and when you think it's the correct place to put them, and I'll not do extra. But that would have been a great time for me to press the commercial button. What would be really funny is if you could click individual people in chat and give individually them an ad break. That would be fantastic. That would be a true tool for evil. All right. Spells have been cast. Stupidity has been passed. And we're into the charge phase. It looks to me like we're up to 5 wounds remaining on that Terrorgeist. Wait for a crucial dice roll, then click it. Yeah, that would be a great way to annoy people and make them leave. Some of the streamers I watch do ad breaks while gaming when they're in loading screens and stuff. Oh, yeah, actually, I guess because then it's not going to give like randomly scheduled ads to people. I assume. Is that how that works? That makes sense. I mean, it doesn't really fit for the sort of content that I'm doing, but add a break each thinking phase. Yeah, maybe that's the best way to do it. Something to consider for future streams. What time are we on? So the round started at 1:15. It started at... Yeah, started 1, I started at 1:15. So we've got an hour 20 left, and there has not been a lot of action happening here. It's... the Graveguard are lumbering forwards. It is looking like it might be a handshake 10-10. Let's see if Callum's finished his game. No, their game is still ongoing. Just the one game finished so far. That's exactly how it works in terms of the ad breaks. Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind. Maybe for streamed events, that would be a good way to do it. Something for me to keep in mind. Even though it does cut into my not exactly amazing ad revenue, I do recommend AdBlock to anyone who doesn't have it installed. It's just a better quality of life, realistically. Seeing a breath weapon on the table, that's an interesting little wrinkle. You don't often see breath weapons coming out of there. Now, let's remind ourselves what you get. Why is my Welsh voice not reading?
Zombies should be stupid. For death may release you from a ha-ha from pain, yet not from ignorance. Ha-ha.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Dan, as well. I appreciate both of you. I agree. Death should release you from pain, not ignorance. And thank you very much, Dan. If you're on the Discord, please do post in the Needs Roll channel, and I will make sure to apply that roll after this game. So you've got aspect. I can't do words. You know what I'm trying to say. Oh, thank you, Chaos Black. Appreciate the support. Zombies should be slow. Zombies are slow, but the magic makes them faster. I do agree, though, that zombies are very much... should be the shambling hordes you see in, like, Shaun of the Dead, instead of the, coked-up fiends you get in 28 Days Later. I'm not much of a horror fan, to be honest. But zombie films are one of the few things in the genre that I have watched a few of. How slow would a zombie dwarf be? I'd see they should be faster over slow distances than a regular human, but slower in general. So maybe a normal zombie can't run, but a dwarf can have a little bit of a burst of speed. Oh, I appreciate that, Case Black. More than Prime and Netflix combined. That's yeah, appreciate that. It is a weird place to. The internet's an odd space where there's so much stuff that's created that you can just watch for free, as opposed to all of the subscription services that get higher and higher in cost. It is an odd balancing act. Zombie dwarf would drag itself along the floor faster than a living dwarf runs. This slander. I wonder if you can get like undead hobbits or halflings. There we go. Undead halflings. I'm sure there will be some. Sean says zombies can't get tired, so they could sustain the burst of speed indefinitely until too many beats fall off from the speed. Yes, or is it maybe that they? Well, I guess there's no oxygen in there, so there's no like anaerobic. Without brains, yes, but what about second brains? That's very good. I like that. I'm seeing some Halloween halflings, but I'm not sure that's what I'm looking for here. These Max Mini ones are interesting, though. Let's have a look at these. They look very... I don't know. They look a bit too cartoony for what I'm looking for. Yeah, maybe not. No, it was a fun idea. Undead halflings would be pretty cool. Even in death, troll slayers just want to scrap. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine how fuming you'd be if you were a slayer and you died and then you came back, when your entire premise for being is to die a glorious death in battle. You would be unhappy with that turn of events for sure. Oh, stretch out. I definitely don't move around enough. I need to make sure I'm actively stretching more during the day. Faux show. Zombie science doesn't get the research it needs. Bit of a dead subject. Very good. Oh, speaking of dead, the camera heard, and the camera has gone. Let's just make sure I can fix that one. Hey. My goal is to always be in there first before someone else calls it out in chat. Got that this time. Dwarf Slayer given the vampire curse. Yeah, and constantly revived by a necromancer. Oh man, that'd be a great story. You know, you've got this Dwarf Slayer just constantly fuming that it's under the spell of the necromancer. Possible stream issues may just be me. Keeps buffering. Hopefully just you. I think since I changed the bitrate of the stream, it's been pretty stable. How are we looking in the game? So it looks like we've not had any charges in Nick's turn 2. So still playing quite a cagey game here. This is an extended thinking phase. Which is fair, but I think it might be turn 4 before we get any real action by the look of things. You're also getting a bit of buffering. Had some microsets today. Oh. I think unfortunately the only way for me to change things on my end is to end stream and restart it. Let me just double check if there's anything I can do in YouTube Studio. Open widget. 2047. Okay, hopefully that should smooth out here over the next couple of minutes. Looks like it's just the Wi-Fi having a bit of a wobble, but we'll see how we get on there. Looking to get the Terrorgeist behind by the looks of things. Obviously, if a Terrorgeist marches, it's not going to be able to do any screaming as well. No buffering here for you. That's good. At least if it's a minor issue as opposed to a major one, that is ideal. Just getting precise with the movement here. Yeah, it looks like that Terrorgeist can very comfortably get past. Looks like Willem's been roped into helping with best sports instead of coming and assisting here. Yeah, no, he's wandering off. Shame. Would have been nice to have had another stream partner. Damn Lewis and is being efficient and getting around and lots of shots. Looks like he's doing a lot of the admin here as opposed to anything else in this final round. How do you call that Vampire Count Undead Blister unit which has different races and skeletons? I remember when I was 11 there was a blister being sold mixed races. So as I remember, it was 4th edition when they split the Undead from being one mega faction to being Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts. Was it maybe before then? Is that perhaps where the mixed kit came in? Unless there was something else. I could be wrong. All right. We've had a little bit of movement here. So Terrorgeists have readjusted, looking to cover the central position basically more than anything else. It looks like... Do you want to come on stream? All right. We're going to have an additional person on stream. This is Strife. Some would call him Will. I wouldn't, because he wore a label that said his name was Strife yesterday. Let me just... putting it on, but I figured for the case of it. So it's just as close as you can put it to your mouth without being brushed by the mustache.
Okay. No tash brushes.
No tash brushes. No.
How are we doing here? We're looking for a 10-10 here, ideally.
Well, so if we're looking at this here, we've got 2020s, 220-0s.
I feel like Callum's going to beat Rick, unfortunately.
Yes, so it really does come down to John to get some heavy scoring coming in.
If John could get Monster Slayer on one of those Terrorgeists or something and then push it.
Well, we're only into turn 3, I think. Or it might even be the bottom of turn 2, actually. It's a very
I think
slow
it's
game. Yeah. There's not a lot has happened here, but there's been a lot of technical thought. So they've got roughly an hour 10 to finish out this round. Gonna have to get their skates on here.
Has this been a good one to watch?
I've been enjoying it.
Okay.
There's been some fun moments.
We kind of thought this would be a...
I find that Undead versus Undead, if one player's willing to full send in, often it goes pretty well for them because they can just get enough violence in there. But the what was fun on I think Nick's turn 1, he cast a spell, rolled a miscast, rolled an 8. So he got the spell off at minimum value, but unable to cast more spells with that wizard. Okay. In response, John goes to dispel, rolls a double 1.
Brilliant.
Rolls an 8. Dispels that spell, but doesn't, is unable to dispel anything else with that wizard for that turn. So just ended up in a bit of a weird spot. And also the, up at the top there, the Abyssal Terror, the Vampire Lord and Abyssal Terror, Failed at stupidity. So on turn 1, Nick was basically able to cast no spells, which is not exactly what
ideal.
you're looking for as a vampire count player.
It's such a taxing game. Just
It
like
really
5
is.
games of Undead is,
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot.
it's just doing so much in every phase.
Yeah, although I think even though I haven't played them, I think I'd be okay with it because I've played against Undead a lot. That it just sort of becomes like here's the 4 things I'm going to do in the command phase. I'm just going to roll all of them, even if I don't need to roll all of them. That's my advice. If you are someone who plays an army and wants to get better at playing it, just do all of the things you can do, even if you don't need to do them. So in like your turn 1 command phase, roll that Helmet Commandment, even though it isn't going to matter. Just get into the habit of doing it. Going to do my res, going to do my res, going to do my res, going to do my Helmet Commandment. Boom, got them all done. And just getting into the habit of doing all of that is...
and even on just like a macro level, like Jordan playing Nolan just has like the exact amount of dice he needs for his Outriders, and that's it. No more, no less. So he just picks up his pile.
Yeah, that would be terrible for me because I lose dice all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd be like...
Yeah, he was panicking. He lost 1 dice, and he was like,
by the end of the tournament, my Outriders would be doing significantly worse than at the start of the tournament because I'd be shooting with about 6 dice less.
Yeah.
So
you didn't get to play?
No, well,
weren't really
I didn't
planning
really
on
want
it.
to play.
Yeah,
it's a lot harder to stream and play. But I am thinking what I might do. I'm not necessarily going to alternate, but I would love to do streamed games like this for a tournament. And then maybe next tournament I play on this table for 5 games and just have the camera pointed at me and have the headset on and then have a lav mic for my opponent. That might be a fun way to do the next one. Because I am getting a little bit of FOMO just watching all this Warhammer and not getting to play.
Sitting in this cupboard.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's been a lot of fun. Really enjoying it. But yeah. Hold on 1 second. It's fine. Yes, indeed. Amy says Strife appeared. Have you posted your face on the internet before? How do people know who you are? Or did it,
I don't know.
I introduced you as you, didn't I?
Okay, yeah, I think so. And also, there's probably been photos of me on the Discord. We had a nice Thai meal last night. There's some photos from that. So.
Fair. That is fair.
On Ginger Steve.
Yes.
Yeah. He wrote a check
Oh,
with
yes.
his mouth and then cashed it with his wallet.
Thanks, buddy.
They won 3 games.
Ooh,
3 rounds on day
warm.
1. He'd buy everyone dinner, and he did. So
Yes,
there we go.
no, absolutely. Yeah, Steve did promise to buy everyone dinner if they won all of their round 1 game, day 1 games. God, words are hard.
Yeah.
Which they did. So yeah, he just bought
So had a
everyone
nice
dinner.
stir fry.
Yeah, I had a sweet and sour without rice, and then I realised actually I'd quite like rice, and they were able to very quickly accommodate me.
Yeah.
When I was looking at something and going, this is going to be so sickly if I don't have something to mix it in with.
I just got 20-0 by Null.
That'll happen.
It was to be expected.
That'll
It's
happen.
probably the worst possible matchup, but
Yeah.
someone's got to do it, right?
Have you considered not getting 20-0'd?
Have I considered not getting 20?
Yeah, what if you
Yeah.
scored more points, you know?
I know, I tried. Even the points I scored got kind of nullified by Jordan just scoring all the objectives. So couldn't even squeeze 1 point out of it.
That is unfortunate.
I'm going to stay for a couple more minutes and I'm going to go
Yeah.
mingle again, I think.
Sounds good.
See how my team's doing.
Amy says, what's your favourite painted army?
Strife. What's your fav
Nick,
painted armies here?
Lambo painted that VC army, and he painted Steve's Chaos army, and they're both like... I think he used to paint for Heavy Metal.
He did work for Games Workshop for a while, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd have to check that, but they're really, really nice.
He's a commissioned painter by trade. He's painted stuff for Tabletop Tactics. So,
Yep.
there's
Callum's army's, I hate to say it, but really nice looking.
that blasted Cathay list.
Matt Sinclair's army's also Cathay, really nice. He's got the glowing effect on the
He was
balloon.
on stream last game. It looked really good.
Really nice.
Yeah, we had some
there's
nice.
so many nice armies here. The Dark Elf Warriors of Chaos army that's like got Tyranids in it. And
Yeah. Yes, we had Andy on stream as well.
There you go.
All of those
There's
are
so
good.
many nice armies. I don't think anyone, I'm not going to talk shit about anyone's army anyway, but no one's army looks bad. Everyone's army is like a really good
No,
standard.
pick
like-
one person whose army you hate. Jordan, after he tabled you.
Yeah, Jordan.
God.
His army, but, I mean, his army looks. He paints like an infantry figure in like 10 minutes with contrast paints, and en masse, it just looks incredible.
Yeah. I love an army that it doesn't take too much time to paint, but represents really well at a tabletop.
Yeah, I don't think he'd mind
Standard.
me saying that he paints quickly because that's the skill, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I took that as a compliment. It wasn't aimed towards me, but I assumed it was a compliment as opposed to anything else. But yeah, so we're still in the stalemate here. I think it is going to be a 10-10 by looks of things.
There's a lot of pointing involved in Warhammer. There's more pointing in one day than I probably do in 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess you've got to, make sure people know exactly what you're doing. What we need to start doing is get those whippy red sticks that we used to use for measuring sticks.
It's just like, and if
bring those.
If you're losing, you can just.
I wasn't saying that. I was meaning you could just point at stuff.
What happened to the red sticks? Because measuring tools like that are quite common in other game systems. Like if you play Ancients or something, everyone's got a little.
I think they're just shit.
I think they're just shit.
So they stopped making them because nobody used them.
It's just, and no one uses them. They just come in the box.
The short measures are quite good. So like if
like a 2-inch measure for just giving ground.
Yeah, I know Age of Sigmar players use them more often. It's not a game I've played, but I believe they have a 3-inch like engagement range. So if you're within 3 inches of each other, you're engaged. So using that to be able to see, oh yes, these models are able to fight. That's probably quite useful. But I'm not sure there's anything like that. Oh no, he's moving backwards, John. No, give the people some violence. Oh. No, he's just moving the skeleton horseman first. No,
I mean, in fairness, we did kind of expect this to happen.
Does he know that he has to get lots of points to win?
Pardon?
Does he know that he has to get lots of points to win?
Someone should probably tell him. He was kind of briefed that we're looking for a 10-10, but
Sure.
in light of what's happened, he needs to,
Yeah. Or Rick needs to somehow pull it out the bag.
we're probably second anyway, so it wouldn't...
First loser?
First loser. But I mean, if he went ham and maybe tried something...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's much risk in terms of, like, if you lose, I don't know if you drop down any placings. But, well, maybe...
It's not helpful, like, going up to him and saying, just try and win more.
Well, so in a team's setting, you definitely can tell your teammates they need to push for points.
Yeah.
And the trade-off there is it is riskier, which is why you're not always just playing for like, oh, I'm going to go for 18 points here. It's like, well, you could do that and just like maybe lose.
I don't know how risky it is at this stage. I don't know how everyone else has done. So,
well, they've only got an hour to round things out, so he might actually struggle to get that many points anyway.
Sorry?
He might struggle to get that many points anyway.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, see this mic here, this jack here. There's no splitter, so. I can hear you. You're coming into my headset,
I'm
but I
you through
can't.
the muffled headset.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like second one.
Every time you turn away to look out the door, I'm like, just kind of nodding. Whatever you're saying.
I was deliberately not saying anything just to.
Oh right.
It was just.
Are they using this dice roller?
Yes, but they haven't rolled any dice in a while because they're doing their thinking phase. 1 hour left. We've had the call.
Something I've enjoyed is just running high CR on a Wolf Rider block and just winning combats by not rolling any dice.
Well,
I mean, you can't lose.
You can roll the dice, they just won't do anything.
Yeah.
Wolf Riders. The Wolves are all right.
You just auto win.
Yeah, I am a big fan of stacking the combat res where possible.
Yeah, I think they killed 2 dragons and a demon prince this weekend.
Wow.
Not bad.
That isn't bad at all. Isn't bad at all. They tried to do the ritual. So John tried to do the ritual on the left-hand objective over there, but it has been taken off him by the zombies.
That's 120 points?
100 points.
100 points.
So just over 3 turns worth of scoring.
Okay.
But it is the one that is easier for Nick to hold as opposed to John. So if he'd been able to get rid of that, it would have been a nice points lead, and he could have secured himself a steady 11-9. That would have been solid.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be. It's looking very drawish. I think.
I think John's got a couple of interesting things in this list. Though he's got the winged. Is it the winged War Sphinx or the winged Necro Sphinx?
Winged War Sphinx. So I asked him about that because apparently it's the first one that's been played at a tournament.
Yeah, I think so.
And I said, "Is it any good?" He said, "No, it's terrible."
No.
So
and he's got the scroll of smiting.
Okay, so the scroll of withering, I rate very highly. So that is your -1 to I think it's -1 to strength. But also you can't take ward saves or regen saves on the unit that you cast it on, which is just obviously a fantastic buff. And in this matchup, honestly, if he'd set up some multi-charges, he could probably crush those Graveguard in 1 round of combat. Yeah. Like turning off the regen just they lean so heavily up on that 5-up regen, it could do a huge amount of damage for them. But it looks like he didn't want to go for it, unfortunately. I think honestly, John could have pushed pretty heavily at the start of this game and been in a pretty solid spot. He's got a lot better melee than the Vampire Counts have, given that they've got Terrorgeist, which are multi-purpose with the screams and stuff. But also, you're just not super worried about screams in general as an Undead player.
I think there was an element of Nick also just taking stuff he wants to take, and taking like maybe some less optimal choices like the Terrorgeist and things.
Yeah, I mean, Terrorgeists have been fine, but the problem that Nick has is mostly spare time because he's a very busy commission painter. So when he initially painted this army for the start of the edition, Terrorgeists were thought of as pretty highly, and I think it's just these are the things that he has played, has experience with playing, and also likes, which, there's nothing wrong with bringing the stuff you like. And when you're playing an army like Vampire Counts, you can kind of just
There's a lot
do
to be
whatever
said
you
for just
want.
playing the models you like as well, right?
Yeah. So we've been talking on stream about potentially looking at me doing some sort of stupid list with like loads of Spectral Doppelgangers, trying to work out the best version of it. And it might be a Vampire Counts list with Spectral Doppelganger spam.
Yeah, probably.
But I just don't know how I want to put that together. That's the thing I'm thinking. Stek's trying to bring up drama for some reason. He keeps asking everyone this question. What model is your least favorite single model at the event?
My least favorite single model at the event.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't think. I mean, it's a fucking balloon.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose to answer
Fuck
that.
balloons. All my homies hate balloons. Yeah, but like, you're not going to get an actual answer after that.
If anyone's done anything purposefully like
Bad. If anyone's brought a really like
outrageous model with like a
nurgly troll hag.
yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, maybe just a balloon.
Yeah.
Maybe just that model I don't like anyway.
Sure.
Like a pig, like a beastman.
One of the actual Razor Gore.
Actual Razor Gores, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, it's painted really nicely. So.
Yeah. Timeless man out. Oh, I've just seen Vesper. This is Strife, also known as Will. He's not wearing his label today.
I had a label on yesterday, so everyone was lightly.
Oh, that's too hot. And also, he stopped putting
I'm
sugar
going to
in
go
it.
tell John to push, and I'm going to get a can.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. Do I need to do anything? Is this
Oh
gonna
no,
make
just
noise?
take it off, put it on the table.
Bye, everyone.
See you later. All right. So he's going to go tell John to push. Not at my advice. Just he is doing so, and we're gonna see if that leads to slightly more damage on the tabletop. Pulling faces at Steve. I just forgot for a second that I was on camera. Just gurning. All right, let's catch up with the comments here. I did get pretty locked in on talking. Cursed Company was the name of the mixed models. I don't know if I know those. Cursed Company Warhammer. Let's have a look at these. So the actual crop is not very good here, but let's have a look, see if I can. Oh, yeah, look at those. So there's a Saurus, a Dwarf, a Skaven, an Orc, and then... Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. I do like that. Pretty cool models. 5th Ed had a Vampire Count book for a couple of months, then 6th Ed launched. Curse Company was a Dogs of War unit made up of all of the race's skeletons. If anyone's going to know, Ed M and Jack Cropper are the two people that I would, if I ever needed to know something about the game from 20 years ago, they're the model side specifically as well. I'd definitely be looking there for answers. High Elf Banner Bearer, Skink Musician, Orc Skellies. Yeah, classic. Stek keeps dice in a round holder in stacks of 5. I can quickly count out what I need. Yeah, that's good. I guess I've been playing long enough that it's very quick to count out dice in 4s or 5s. Remy says, I think a co-caster helps and maybe 3 tables with cams so you can tab through. That would be amazing, but that's like so far out of the realm of where I am right now. Even getting this setup here was unfortunately quite difficult to get to. But yeah, being able to do 4 tables would be amazing. Tolmy's here. Shook free to watch round 5. Yeah, it's an Undead versus Undead matchup. It's been very cagey, very techy. Not a lot of damage going on so far, but a lot of sort of back and forth. We still get sticks in the Camry box. Oh, I see. Give them to my toddler and regret it gravely. Yes, the actual measuring sticks. Ah, I didn't realize they still made them. Blink twice if you need more tea, and Lewis is failing to provide. No, he's literally just brought me one. You know, five or so minutes ago. No complaints there. What would be your top 3 choice for old models to get new sculpts, Mathia? It's got to be High Elf, Spearmen, / Archers. I'm going to count that as one sculpt. Tomb Kings, Skeleton, Warriors / Archers. Going to count that as one. And then maybe like the Skeleton Horse Archers as well. Or maybe, is there a third army that's got really old sculpts? Let's just have a think here. Is there anything that's like really egregiously old? Beastmen are fine, Chaos Dwarves, Demons, Dark Elves. All of this is okay so far. Lizardmen have got new Seraphon sculpts. They count ogres, maybe. Some new ogre sculpts would be pretty cool. Would be okay with those. Yeah, so let's say we're going to replace the Ogre Kingdom's like core bull body that all of the sculpts are built around. The High Elves with, as Ptolemy says, the monkey paws, and then also the whatchamacallums, the Tomb King Skeleton Warriors / Archers. Empire Warhorse, Skeleton Horse. Like, I actually don't think the Warhorse is too bad. It's not good, but it's not on the same level as the Skeleton Horse head, in my opinion. Common Goblins, yeah, they're pretty bad, actually. Orc Boys. Yeah, I don't mind the Orc Boys. They have a nostalgic charm. Given that they're quite bulky, they don't look weird when they've got big hands. Night Runners, a lot of the Skaven Eshin stuff. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although they do have a lot of good streams, a lot of good sculpts there as well. Vesper says, I prefer my men with big hands anyway. Are you getting the slight flickering on the camera every now and then? You mean models? That's a good point. The monkey paw spearmen don't look half as bad if you paint them as metal gauntlets, not flesh hands. Or like big chunky gloves. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. That does make sense. Seeing some bats in the back line trying to go for that baggage train. Trying to get in and destroy it by the looks of things. Well, you could charge. Yeah, too much scenery. I see. All right, some good spell casting so far for the. I was going to say for the undead, for the vampire counts. Tell you what, while I'm here and I've got Discord open, let me just apply roll to those of you who have very generously become members on YouTube. Muchos apreciado to all of you. Boom. It's not a long job, but one that it does. I do need to remember to do. I've just heard of that's it from the Vampire Count player. I'm assuming that's a case of that's the end of the command phase as opposed to anything else. Are we going to see any charges this turn? Come on, Nick. Bring the thunder. I guess, to be fair, from Nick's perspective, he just has to play kind of cagey. Because if he's playing cagey, then it doesn't matter. All they need to do is get through the rest of the game. Given that they have a couple of very strong scores. They've got 120. Let's check in, see if the Cathay versus Dark Elves game has gone in any particular way. No, still in play. Not that many games finished, even though there is only 45 minutes remaining on the round. Normally you do see a couple of games finishing up early. Zombies just scooching around, having a quick reform. Very nice. Some nice use of unit fillers over there with the large gravestones. I'm a big fan of gravestones for vampire counts, for zombies. Nobody's got time to, go out and paint 80 zombies if they want to run 2 units of them. So just paint 40 of them, and then also 40 small unit fillers. Amy says, do you think the complex missions and multiple objectives are good or bad for tournament play? RE games finishing on time. I think. I mean, not to malign the old world crowd at all, but these are, I would say, not particularly complex if we're comparing it to other systems such as 40k, where there's a lot more admin going on, and 40k tournaments, you manage to get your games done in time. So I think having some additional bits and pieces here for objectives, like, I don't think it should stop people from finishing games on time. It's maybe just a little bit more to think about than some people are used to if they've only been playing stuff like Old World, especially pre 1.5 before objectives came in. Just knocked my my camera there. Oops. Lots of measuring, lots of back and forth. Nothing is dead so far as I can tell. Nothing that matters anyway. I did have a look over and there was a Necrosphinx on the side of the board, but it's just, just out there because they're using a base to mark it in the woods instead. Plenty of measuring. Technically everything on the board is dead. You have got me there, and that's very hard for me to argue with Chris. Oh. Okay, very, very cool. We've got a Vampire Lord on Abyssal Terror who is staring down the barrel at the enemy Tomb Scorpion. Now, Tomb Scorpions do have Monster Slayer attacks, but, is he going to go for it? I mean, the Vampire does only have a great weapon, so, it is going to attack after the Scorpion. This could be a big 600-point swing in the favor of the Tomb Kings, which could have a big effect on the round. It really depends how well Rick is hanging on. really depends how Rick's getting on. The downside is... No, it's all right. I was just looking past you. I was trying to have a look into the room, see if there's anything interesting going on, but where I'm sat, I'm not really able to see anything. The Shuffling Undead. The Shuffling Undead indeed, Matthew. What I will say is we do now have a Necro Sphinx, or is that... Nope. That's the Winged War Sphinx, I believe. Got a Winged War Sphinx in the back over there. Positioned to get a rear charge into some zombies. A rear or flank charge. So that could be the first bit of combat that we see all game. Oh, pardon me. Coming into the... Currently just shuffling around in the backfield. Could be the first combat a Winged War Sphinx has ever seen globally. Yeah, not even just in a tournament, just in general. Tell you what, let's have a look at the actual Winged War Sphinx itself. I wonder if it's someone's put it on Tau. So, as you can see here, it is a normal War Sphinx, Strength 5, Toughness 6 with 5 wounds, and only 4 attacks. It has Wicked Claws, so Strength user AP2, so the output's not particularly exciting. It's only got D3 Stomps, although it is a behemoth, so it gets AP on them. And on top of that, it's got Heavy Armor and a 6-up regen. And it can pay extra to have a flame attack or an extra attack with Envenomed Sting. Oh no, not even an extra attack. It just replaced one of its attacks with a strike's first attack. So, yeah, it's not really got much. It's got countercharge. That's the big thing that it does have, but it doesn't really get anything out of having countercharge, which is, yeah, interesting. But yeah, if you could put a character on top of it, I'd at least give it a go. It takes up less board space than a Bone Dragon, so there'd be an advantage there. And even though it's only fly 9, if you could put a king on top and My Will Be Done it, that'd be pretty interesting. Also initiative 1, so you could attack at the same time as a great weapon. I think that would be an interesting way to play around with it. Forgot which screen I was on there. After all that, the decision has been made that the Blood Knights are actually just going to continue to face forwards. Very good. 40 minutes on the clock. Will anyone make a charge this game? Man, I really thought this was going to be a bloody affair. Pun not intended, or lack of pun, I guess. While we're doing this, let's go back to talking about the Spectral Doppelganger then. Let's see what we're working with here. What should we go with? So, the problem with vampire counts is you can only have 0 to 1 vampire count per 1,000 points. So I could go double, like, Abyssal Terror. But they're very, very expensive for what you get. And I was kind of wondering, is it worth going like a Strigoi Ghoul King or Vampire Count with Winged Terror, the upgrade where you get to, you can't join units but you gain fly 10. Like, is that something that's worth going? Because then you can still buff them up with whatever. Problem is, like the Strigoi Ghoul King is super choppy. 5 attacks with, does it have Frenzy? No, it has Hatred. Yeah, just Hatred. It comes with a hand weapon, which is unfortunate, so you have to buy a magic weapon for it. So you're probably looking at Ogre Blade on a Strigoi Ghoul King, unfortunately, which means that you can't really do much else with it. Also, you can't take Illusion on the Strigoi, so I guess it is just the general vampire count that you're going for. How to deal with some nonsense. Who's winning? No one. No one. It's very much not much of anything is happening. So we're looking at you know, options here for what to potentially do for for various undead things. Master Necromancer, Illusion, Hand of Dust, Lore Familiar, Magic Weapon. Okay. 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 You know what? I can see it. So, let's... What are they rolling here? I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure what just happened there. They just took away a marker. Not sure much of anything's actually happening. Before I change screen, what is going on here? Has anything died? Or... Alright, they're just casting spells. Cool. So we're into the Tomb King's turn 4, so not that much of the game left. This is only a 5-turn game. Alright, let's go with... let's have a look at the Spectral Doppelgangers. What are we thinking here? So this vampire is interesting. So obviously you can take up to 100 points of vampire powers. You can't repeat vampire powers, if I remember correctly, which is a little bit of a shame. So if we just go down to... What page is it, Vampire Powers? It's like page 27? 28. Not far. Oh, nope. It was before then. Anything happening? Yeah. 15? I think you need... If you get a 10-10, Callum would need a 16 to win. I think it's 5 points on each side. How is that game looking? How's the Cathay game looking? Rick's hanging in? Okay. Oh, I mean, he hasn't had any scoring units for a long time, right? So that's a little bit of a problem. I assume Callum's got a lot of core. Okay. Oh, well, exciting. Everything to play for on this table. Someone has to do something. Just a quick update there on the Cathay versus Dark Elf game. Cathay are definitely going to win, but it's how much are they going to win by? My expectation is they're going to win by a lot because there is I was told earlier that most of the non-dragon units are dead, and there's a lot of secondary objective scoring on this map, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so what do we want to go with here? So, Flying Horror for 35 points. And you can have 100 points of vampiric powers, but you can only have one per army, so we can't go multiple cheeky Flying Horror units. Okay, that's fine. Is there anything else we need to go for? You probably want to go Master of the Black Arts, so that takes us to 65 points. So we can't go +1 wound, but at 50 points, honestly, that's quite expensive. Maybe we go Dark Acolyte as well, at which point you can heal yourself as if you're a level 1 wizard, and then... But you've only got 2 wounds. That doesn't feel... 3 wounds. That doesn't feel super exciting. Is there a... I feel like there's... Yes, here we go. A Cursed Armor for 30 points. It's full plate, but it gives you +1 toughness. So you'd be flying around as a toughness 6 model. You would only be weapon skill 6, but we're leaning on Spectral Doppelganger, so I care about that a lot less. T6 flying around a 10-inch move could be interesting. A Cursed Armor, Talisman of Protection, Lore Familiar. That would do it. Ed says you end up with 1 level 2 vampire and 1 level 3 vampire because only one can take the power. Oh, that's a very good point. God, that's disappointing. That is disappointing. Because this was going to be my off character, the one that is running around doing shenanigans, while the other one is there, and that way I can still fit in a necromancer to do some rezzing. But disappointing. I guess there's a reason that we're not seeing anyone do it. That's a real shame. And I don't know what I'd do in core, because I wouldn't if the whole point is I'm doing haha funny shenanigans. Just be like, oh yes, funny shenanigans, but also 32 Graveguard doesn't really feel particularly great. Who knows? One to think about. What I'll do is I'll do work for the day, do a coaching session in the evening, relax for a couple of hours, doing whatever. And then I'll get in bed, and immediately as soon as I'm in bed, I'm like, okay, time to start writing lists. It's part of the reason why it takes me, I go to sleep so late. And bed is the place where all lists are written, apparently. $100 direwolves it is then. How many points are direwolves? Still got the PDF open. Let's just have a look at. Direwolves must be pretty far down. Direwolves are 8 points per model. You can only have them in units of 20, so I could only take 80. It's a bit of a shame. And they do get +1 strength in the charge. Full core with zombies. Make your opponents work the objectives and give you lots of time to pick combats. Just as many units of... But because I'd be taking, basically no one to do rezzing, I'd have to just spend 120 points to get units of 40 zombies, which is still fine, but it's just less exciting, at which point I always wonder if I should just go skeletons instead. Oh, you know what? In all of the excitement, I wasn't paying attention. We've got some actual combat here. Looks like John's been told that he has to push, so he's sending forwards to see if he can pick up the 90-point units of zombies that we've got here. Okay, so those are reserve moving. We will see the skeleton horse archers move again to get out of the Terrorgeist charge arc there. Yeah, go ahead. I got Lewis back again. We've seen an actual charge on the table. They're actually doing something. Warhammer is happening. They've done their best to prevent it, but they have committed to doing some Warhammer.
Warhammer is actually happening.
Absolutely. Look at that. There's a dragon and 2 necrosphinxes into a unit of zombies. If they kill those zombies...
It's the charge of the century.
If they kill those zombies, or I should say when, they'll get 30 points.
Hell
Sorry, not
yeah.
30 points, 90 points.
That's some points.
It's almost 100.
Yes.
What's the differential in your game, in your tournament?
I think you need 250 to get an 11-9, so they're going to have to kill some more.
Yeah, so in that
But
case,
they've
how
obviously been
excited
racking
are
up
we?
secondaries. Have you found this one difficult to commentate on it?
Honestly, the first hour wasn't too bad because it was nice to see the sort of back
Some
and forth.
manoeuvring.
But then they just didn't go in, so I've been looking at the PDF for vampire counts. I'm trying to think about doing maybe some sort of spectral doppelganger shenanigans list. But I can't settle on one that I love.
No, I think that would be good. I think I don't know if you've been through the results in the other parts of that team's matchup.
I've been waiting to see them submitted. So there is a 20-0 and a 0-20.
Yes.
So it basically comes down to this game and how many points Callum can squeeze out of Cathay.
So Callum and his Cathay are doing well, as you
Yes.
can imagine, but Rick has managed to get behind them into the cannons with his dragons, etc. So if Rick can pull off maybe a 15-5 or something like that, and then this
5-15
game
to be
ends in a
clear.
draw,
Yes, it'll be a tie.
then that I think would be a tied round overall.
And who's ahead at the moment?
These are the two top runners.
Who's ahead before this round ends? Because one team was higher up in the placings on second.
Cruel Runnings were actually ahead.
Oh.
So we'll see how it goes. If Callum 20-0s Rick,
Yes.
I think it's close horses.
It's unlikely.
If
that-
Rick is able to just claw, he's literally at the point where he's just like trying to pick up as much as he can to claw back points and try and bring that Dark Elf game and Cathay game back to some semblance of normality, which
Yep.
after the first 2 turns, I thought Rick was done and out, but he's managed to pull it back.
Yeah. So this is, I believe, turn 4 in a 5-turn game.
Yeah.
So John is going to struggle to push for more than a 12. Even now that he's getting aggressive, he's going to struggle to push for more than a 12.
Yes. So I think that's probably a 10-10 locked in, and I think Nick realises that as long as Callum is able to get some points against Rick, he can play this Vampire Counts matchup pretty passively.
I think both players were told just get a 10.
Yeah.
Oh, what's happening there?
Oh, you got 3 screens all of a sudden.
That's not what should happen. And I haven't touched anything. My hands weren't even on the mouse. I'm just going to
Well, whilst
quickly-
you're fixing that, Ed,
Sure.
any of you on the stream that would like to come to a future Saffron Slam,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
going to do some
absolutely.
corporate shilling now. Our next event with tickets available, hello everybody, is on the 7th and 8th of February, 2026.
Yep.
Get yourself down here. It's a singles GT. We'll probably do 2,000 points. I am enjoying 2,600, but we have got a few games not finishing, and we are
Sure.
doing 3-hour rounds. So I think you would probably want to maybe push to 3.5 hours
Yep.
for 2,600, which is not the end of the world, but it does mean that basically you're doing like 12 hours of Warhammer on the Saturday
Sure.
to get 3 games in, which is quite a lot of Warhammer to play. So I think we'd probably drop it back to 2,000 for February. So if you'd like to come, just search Saffron Slam on YouTube, on Google, sorry, and that will come up. And we've still got some tickets left, and it'll be absolutely lovely to host you here and potentially have some more streaming going on, assuming Ed can fix his camera, which appears to have stopped.
Yeah, I wonder if it's run out of power, but it does appear to be okay over there. I'm not sure. It might be a case of
Drama is occurring.
I don't know about drama. But the second something actually starts happening in the game is when the camera breaks, and I'm absolutely fuming.
It would be. There's been just so much manoeuvring going. Oh no, we've just had the final score come in from the Dark Elves versus the Cathay. Callum has 20-0'd Rick. He was not able to get any points back. So if this is a 10-10 and John can't take any points off Nick, then that will be a round win for the close horse and probably an event win for the close horse.
It does look
Which
like that.
is what we said on Tuesday's stream before the event. We thought that Steve's team, they had the strongest set of lists, given they're probably the main team that actually took decent lists to
Sure.
the event. So I don't want to use the word foregone conclusion. John is getting very excited. He's wielding a flame template. I don't know what that means, everybody, but I'm on the
the
edge
Winged
of my
War
seat.
Sphinx can buy the Fiery Roar special rule, which
The
is
fiery roar
a
is happening.
Strength 4 AP 1 breath weapon. I think it costs 20 points.
20. Okay.
I mean, you're already sinking the better part of 200 points into this Winged
Yeah, I'm not
War Sphinx.
spending 20. I'm not adding
Nah.
10% onto my War Sphinx to
I'm
maybe
not
get a
taking a War
flame.
Sphinx.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're taking a War Sphinx, in for a penny, in for a pound, get the flame weapon. I am excited to see what John can do here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was saying earlier, so the streaming's fun. Getting a bit of Warhammer FOMO. What I might do is, because obviously the plan is to continue to stream the Saffron Slam events, having
Hell
a good time
yeah.
doing it. Maybe for some events, set me up on this table and I play 5 games on the stream table.
Yep.
And just
You
have
just love
5
yourself,
different-
don't you?
Oh, someone has to.
Someone has to.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, not to rub that in. Recently single, Mr. Lewis with his lovely
a
wife
handful
and
of
happy
vampires.
relationship.
I've just taken us straight back to the game there, Ed. Handful of vampires have just been removed. I don't know what it means.
Not a handful of vampires, because that would
handful-
be
well,
that would be
that would-
horrendous. That would be really
that would
scary.
be worth 20 points.
Yeah.
I'd have that breath weapon any day of the week.
Handful of zombies has been removed.
Yes, which basically, effectively, if you don't kill all the zombies, that means you killed no zombies.
Yeah. Amy has posted a triple double, assuming 2.6k allows 3 lords. So I think most places that do 2.6k don't allow 3 lords, but also I like that you came in and are like, we're probably going to go back to 2k. And then
Yes.
immediately Amy has been working on this list in the background. Has probably just
True.
come back to the stream and like, I've got this list for you.
Oh no. Is this a triple Arachnarok list by any chance?
No, it's Master Necromancer, Vampire Counts. Okay, so this is actually
You can do that
series.
in 1,000
Yeah.
points for a 2,000 point game, I think.
One of
Oh no,
these-
yeah. No, I think you can.
Yeah. Anyway, more work to be done on the doppelganger.
Excellent. Right, I'm going to have to go and do some clearing up, so I'm going to love you and leave you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for watching. Very much
Indeed.
appreciated. And come to the Saffron Slam in February, everybody.
What's the date? Remind us again.
7th and 8th of February. Just Google Saffron Slam and it will come straight up. It will be lovely to see some of you here.
Absolutely. All right, lovely. Thank you, Lewis. And obviously, go to elmominiatures.com or Google Saffron Slam, and you will find tickets available for that event. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to stream it or play it. But I'll do one of the two. And if I'm playing it, I will aim to stream it while playing it. That should be fun. All right, actual violence happening. I wonder if they've got to the combat with the double necrosphinxes yet. Let's see if they start picking up zombies on the back end of the field. No APs or 6s. Sounds to me like poison shooting here into the Graveguard. No, it wouldn't be into the Graveguard. Oh no, it's into the Terrorgeist. John's really trying to chip away at this Terrorgeist. Okay, combat's happening. Okay, first dice roll's coming in. This is the Spectral Doppelganger, 2d6 hits. 8, just above average. We will take that. This is going to be the most exciting thing that's happened all game. We've got 8 auto hits with the Serpent Staff. A lot of 1s in there, that's unfortunate. But still, 5 wounds there. 5 regens for the zombies. No regens passed. 5 zombies killed by Spectral Doppelganger. Very, very nice. No worries, Chris. I did assume, but I will respond to your message, your direct message, either Monday or Tuesday, because I'm traveling back on Monday, so I'll be back working as normal on Tuesday. But then we'll do any coaching chat in the coaching channel that I've set up for you. Just it's easier for me to keep track of all of the coaching if I keep it in one place as opposed to anything else. All right, how much damage is the dragon going to do? Immediately not great. The only dragon in the game that can hit a zombie on a 3 instead of a 2. Well, that's not fair. The zombie dragon exists as well, but they're both equally pants. Some teamwork going on there. One of them tracking wounds, one of them tracking successful regens. Yeah, sounds good, mate. Like I say, once I'm back in Nottingham, fully locked in on Tuesday, I'll be back up and running. Speaking of, need to arrange something for the podcast this weekend. This Tuesday. I'll have to see if I can get a guest for that one. Just thinking out loud. Not anyone specific. Very efficient. You're going to get 90 points. I think it was 90. Yes, John was saying 1,000 points of Tomb Kings will generally kill 60 points of zombies, but I think it was 90 points of zombies. So very impressive there. Very, very pleased to see some actual combat going. I think... Has it not wiped them out? Is he not going to crumble? Well, looks like he's got some models left. I don't know if they've got to the combat res stage of the everything here. John goes, so they'll crumble, won't they? And Nick's gone, yeah. And then he's just picked up the tray. Very good. Very good. So, the entire unit gone, 90 points scored for John. Getting closer to getting some points, because he does need to get at least a 15 here to secure a tie. And just as a reminder, if John gets a tie here, all of the other scores are in for his team. There's 2 20-0s in the favor of Nick's team. There's 1 20-0 in the favor of John's team. So it's currently 40-20. If you'd need to get more than a 15. Actually, you'd have to get you'd have to get an 18 to keep it a tie. This does feel pretty unlikely, unfortunately, for John to be able to get that many points out of it this late in the game. Only 18 minutes left on the round, and also only 1 turn left. This is turn 5, I believe. So looking like a likely victory. Maybe not in this game, but for the overall event here for Close Horse. All right, destroyed. Test to reface, looking towards the Blood Knights. Oh, he's looking towards the zombie dragon. Though I am fairly certain this is the last turn of the game. I obviously haven't drank enough caffeine here. Uh, 16 minutes. What turn are you on? Turn 4. Okay. Good luck. They're at the top of turn 4. I've added a round in. The Undead have moved at a more glacial pace than I expected. Raising Zombies, the classic. So many zombies coming back. "15 minutes left. This is there we go. The call has been made. Do not start any new battle rounds. So I think this is likely the last turn of the game. What's slower, zombies, dwarves, or this game? Yeah. I mean, both of them have gone in, I believe, with the goal given to them by their team captains of getting a 10-10. So I think, unfortunately, maybe I shouldn't have picked this game to go up. But I think they're both playing the way that they should be playing. And it's only got until, late in the game with like an hour and a half to go, where John's been told that he might actually, to salvage the round, needs to push to try and get some more points to try and cover up for the 2 20-0s that they got. If it's Troll Horde versus either side, you'd already be done and down the pub. Yeah, that's true. The Troll Horde would have tabled the Vampire Counts very quickly. Casting going well. This is the Van Hells, I believe. Are we going to see a charge here from the Blood Knights into the flank of one of the models there? Am I going to do more of this sort of event coverage? Yes, Amy, I would love to. I think the working plan is, ideally, if my schedule lines up, there are going to be, I think, 6 events next year at Saffron Slam down here, and I think I am aiming to stream all of them. I might play in a couple of them, so maybe stream 4 like this, and then also stream 2, where I'm at the stream table playing games, mic'd up. My opponent's mic'd up as well, and we just bring 5 games of streamed Warhammer in that format. But yes, I would absolutely love to continue to play and stream these out. It's good for us non-tournament gamers to see more cagey gameplay too. Yeah, absolutely. Like these sort of games, like when you play them especially, you learn a lot more from, because you're like, where has my opponent managed to find the gaps in my game plan? What have they managed to do? Because a cagey game is not just you two refusing to take moves. It's a lot of jockeying in positioning and trying to put your opponent in difficult positions to force them to make an error. When we're talking about mistakes, the definition that I would make is unforced errors and forced errors. An unforced error is you just making a mistake when there's no pressure on you. It's just you doing something wrong when you didn't need to do something wrong. And those are the sorts of things that you want to try and avoid doing. And good players will not make too many unforced errors. Forced errors, this is something where your opponent's going to put you in a difficult position. Have you been at a table and you felt like your opponent's given you just bad options to choose from? That's what I'd call a forced error. Oh, the camera's gone. That might well have been... Oh, yeah, the screen has gone off. It does look like the battery's run out on it, but that's okay. So I tell you what we're going to do here. We're just going to, I think, wrap up this one. We know that the result is going to be roughly close to a 10-10. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Apologies that the camera has cut out, but we did only have 10 minutes left on this round anyway. Looking like it's going to be basically a 10-10 there. All right, cool. Well, with that in mind, I am going to end the stream here. Thank you all for tuning in. Looking forward to doing this again in February next year.